Good evening, YouTubers. Today I want to show you some of the amazing stuff that you can do with Smartbridge and how you can utilize both the style engine and the clips that I actually started creating and I provided myself. So let's start off with opening it up, and I chose R&B Soul, and I want to create this into a funk song. So it changes all of the harmonics to fit a typical funk song. And on Style Engine, I'm going to choose Mr. SuperGroove. SuperGroove is the new style, and you know that's Superstition, that's the name of the song. So let's build up something with this, but let's try to make it change it so much that it doesn't sound like Superstitious anymore. And this is something that really annoys me about Yamaha. They create these wonderful styles. Why do they insist on making it so close to the actual song? You want the pieces, not the actual stuff. So let's work on that. So the first thing I want to do, I want to create an intro. And I want to start with something completely different. I want to start with some percussion. And I have a swing, and I have some really nice conga shuffles. Have a listen. So let's drag those over. There we go. I'm just going to refresh the whole mixer and sync it to Cubase so you can see it updates automatically. So got all the names there. Good. So we'll start with that. A simple conga shuffle. Nice. Let's add a tambourine, but I let the tambourine start in the middle of it so it doesn't go all the way there. So it starts off with a simple then I would like to have an intro of a bass. Let's see if we can find something on the swing side here. There are many basses clips to choose from. That I like. Let's do that. Whoa, and my clips. There we go. But I don't want it to play all the way. I want it to stop somewhere there. So you can listen and enjoy the. It's typical build up. So it starts off with the. That's 4. This is just housekeeping. So it starts off with a little bongo drum. It starts with finishes off with a tambourine. Then it continues with the bass. Then somewhere here, I want the instruments to be quiet. I'll do a last beat. Then I will introduce the drums. It's one swing. I'm going to start off with just a big I like that. So let's go back here and let's grab, that, and put it right there. So and then we start off with the actual excellent. So let's take that and I need to check where. This is something that they changed a lot. The snares and drums are in other places. This time around it's on F sharp 0. So change that F sharp 0 so the sound. Check that. And then it starts. So what we do to change this so it doesn't sound like the actual song, let's start by replacing the bass, because the bass is, can make a lot of changes specifically if you want to use something like this. So let's pick funk, swing, let's try a verse. Boring. Let's see if I can find something on my other funk here. I like that. Let's try that. See if I can replace it. I like it. It's quite an interesting taste. And of course, replace the drums. So the drums are part of that. So let's see if I can find a chorus. And pick 2 fill-ins. Place that. And it's supposed to be F sharp. It still sounds too much superstitious, but you can see that with very few clicks, we created something that is quite much more fun and much more different than God. So let's continue. Let's record this section. Let's do a C and with a break. Nice. Bring that in. Oh, I forgot to continue here, because that would make a lot of change. Continue with the one, of course. That was it. Sorry about that. Let's continue with the vocal shuffles. Because that gives it a lot of character that doesn't exist in the song. And let's do, of course, the tambourines. As you can hear, they are very expressive. Put a lot of effort in creating stuff that is not just randomly played. So let's listen to this in context. It's coming too hot. So I need to lower that a little bit, the velocity. How about this? That's fine. So let's listen down, see if it changes. Yeah, that made a lot of sense to do that. Step up, and these two are phrases. Okay, and the next thing I want to do is continue and record this section. D and fill it with D. Great. Drag it over. Let it start. There. Ah, silly weed. They of course need to be. Okay, so what can I do with this? I can move that and introduce again my cool congas, but let's take some of the other stuff now. Let's go to Latin percussion this time around. Let's see what we got here. We got some bongo swings. The cool thing about this version is that they actually have fill-ins as well. So when I drag it over, it's not just an 8-bar doing nothing. It actually does have a fill-in to it. Oh, they're coming in extremely hot, so I need to lower the velocity. So I overtake it. Pa, 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 pa. So that was pretty cool. Let's continue and do a shaker. Yeah, that's the one I like. Let's add it on top of that. Yeah, I don't like the hi-hat on this, so instead I will do a funk swing, and I'll try one of those chords. Yeah, I'm going to stick to a that was good. So I took a swing and added 2 fill-ins to it, and I replaced that with my current drums. What about the bass? Oh, it's actually doing something. I'm not sure if I want to replace it, but let's see what's on offer. What's on offer? Funk, swing, chorus. That was a bit more interesting. So here we go. Let's listen to it now. So now it's not sounding so much like the traditional superstitious, and that's mainly because of the rhythmical changes and the bass changes. That is the main difference. So what else can we do? I've been working quite a lot with another part of Smartbridge, that is the solo phrases, as they're called. The idea is that I want to give you inspirations. What you do is that you open up this solo ideas, is what it's called. Pick your style. I'll stick to funky horns. And by the way, on my one-time settings, I have a tenor sax. So what do I want? I want something expressive. It has to be swing, of course. And then what kind of vibe? Calm or energetic? Let's do energetic. And force mono, because it's practically a saxophone. It takes a little while because it does a lot of calculations and a lot of behind the scenes stuff. This is a set of MIDI clips that I put together, and they are dynamically created based on these selections. So let's see what we got back. Let's listen to that and see if it works. Wasn't that bad. Great. So that is another feature that I'm working quite a lot to get it right, and is to create these exciting solo ideas. Now, of course, you're not supposed to just drag and drop and continue. The idea is to give you a starting point that you can then continue building on. So, but for the sake of this video, I'm just going to throw it in there and keep with it. So what else can I do? I can continue with this, and instead of expressive, I want safe, I still want swing, and I want to put down that. That was quick because it cached already the other song. You will see why I do this now. This one is good, and I will explain in a couple of seconds why I like it. So we'll take that and put it to the chorus. Oh no, I did a mistake. You need to be on the actual section, otherwise the chord awareness doesn't work. So let's do it again. Perfect. Let's take that. Drag it in. Okay, so these are much longer notes. They are not equally exciting. Why am I doing this? Well, I'm going to show you something else that I've got. You can use the song channels. The song channels are over here, and you can actually do an ensemble. So in this case, I'm going to do a woodwinds, a trumpet, funk, alto, tenor, and trombone. Bang. So there they are. There's a trumpet, alto sax. It's going to get too hot. Let's stop it. There we go. So we got an ensemble here, and we got the monophonic stuff here. So all I have to do now is go into my beautiful, and there I have a brass harmonizer. I grab this, bang. Then I can choose different kinds of voicings. And in this case, I'm going to use the unison octave, harmonize that, and all I have to do now is drag and drop this into my polyphonic stuff. Bam! And the reason you hear this, it immediately creates the different voices and does it for you. So let's have a listen. Ha! The style itself was playing on top of that. Sorry about that. And that, my friends, was a short introduction on the new features that I've started to do and build on in Smartbridge. I'll just play through this song as a finish just so you hear the result. That was it, my friend. Thank you.